I'm going to give a warning right here. I'm going to be talking about a lot of weird pedo shit in this vid, so leave now if you don't want to hear about it, okay? You've been warned. Snow Crash by Neil Stevenson. It's about a place called the Metaverse. So obviously very contemporary. This was published in the 90s, so, you know, it's got VR, it's got virtual currency like cryptocurrency, all that stuff. It's got a huge commentary on capitalism. It's poking fun at a lot of this stuff. Very ironic considering how popular all that stuff is now. The main character, hero protagonist, haha, is cool. He's got he's got a katana and whatever, the the other one, the short sword. He rides a motorcycle. He's a cool cyberpunk fucking protagonist. It's cool. There's this like comparing and contrasting of religion and tech that I find super interesting. It's like delving into deep biblical lore and stuff and binary language. It's cool, and I think it's unique, and it's a commentary I've never seen before. Then we get to the other main POV character other than Hero, a character named YT, which stands for yours truly. She's like this cool, edgy, spunky, cyberpunk fucking skater girl. You know, it's like immediately the super endearing character. The way she talks is really cool. And the way they describe her as first, you're like, oh, she's cute. Like, you know, like, and everybody's like checking her out. She's clearly very attractive. And you're like, you have this picture of in your head of like this, you know, attractive 20-year-old woman who's badass and all that. And then it drops that she's 15. Okay, and then all of that imagery like is wrung out of my mind. It goes from hot 20-year-old skater girl to a teenager, and that is it. But it doesn't go out of the author's mind. Okay, she continues to be sexualized a lot. She's checked out by everyone. There's continuous descriptions of like her appearance and her body, which is like, that's already fucking weird. Okay, that made me uncomfortable. But it's dystopian fantasy. So I gave the author the benefit of the doubt. I was like, this is a world in which it is normalized to be attracted to a 15-year-old, and that's still not cool. Like that, it is not supposed to be cool, is what I thought, you know? It's not inherently normal to the writer, it didn't seem. I thought he was making a point. I thought I was supposed to feel uncomfortable, and I'm fine with that. Then she meets this villain that's been around since the start of the story. He's like a 7-foot-tall, scarred, evil dude. You know, he's kind of like a smoky, smoldering, kind of fucking edgy guy. And then there's this attraction between YT and this guy. It's fucking weird, and I was like, ugh, it's so strange. But again, there's that benefit of the doubt. That was still in my head. This is a bad guy. It tracks that he would be attracted to a 15-year-old, and that would be bad. I was like, I've read plenty of books where there's weird pedophiles and there's rapists, you know? It's not that I'm not supposed to like them. I got that. I didn't think I was supposed to like this guy. I didn't think I was supposed to like their relationship. Until there's a sex scene between YT and this guy. It is fucking gross. It makes me fucking sick. I got to it and I was like, no, this isn't happening. But it did happen. And I'm like, and I read a paragraph. Well, this is not happening. And then I read another paragraph and I'm like, that happened. And this was yesterday. And I was like book clubbing it with a friend, and I texted him. I was like, dude, I don't know if I can fucking read this anymore. It's just disgusting. Personally, I think a writer should be able to write about whatever he or she wants. You know, this is a medium where you can make a point about anything, and I don't think that should be censored at all, but this is about how it's presented. It is not presented negatively at all. It is, to me, really seems like it is supposed to be an erotic, hot sex scene between a 15-year-old and a man that is implied to be at least in his 30s. No, I'm not just gonna like sift through that and be okay with the rest of the story. It is weird to read this guy's writing after that. So I immediately looked up to see if other readers had brought up how fucking strange this is. And there were people, yeah, on the subreddit, but most people who were replying to those people were giving the same arguments that I had during the start of the book when I was giving the benefit of the doubt. oh, this is fucked up. It's supposed to be fucked up. It's meant to feel you uncomfortable. It's not meant to be hot. I do not agree with that. It is not described in a disgusting way. I don't think it's ever brought up again that she's 15 in this scene. It's just weird. And it would be a little different if they were both of age. It'd be a little weird to, you know, that this guy wrote about it, and it's not a YA. Like, this is an adult piece of fiction. They say fuck, which is the decider pretty much every time. But think about YAs where there are underage relationships, like Red Rising. I think they're 17 in the book, and you know there's a romance there and there's physical shit happening, but it either cuts away. It's not described that in depth because first of all it's YA, and second of all they're underage. It's somewhat weird for an of-age author to go in depth on a sex scene between two underage people. Like there's a difference between it happening and it being shortly described and it becoming a sex scene, you know? Another example of where a similar thing happens is in Game of Thrones. This is another adult piece of fiction. Daenerys is very, very fucking young at the start. It is weird. It is supposed to be weird how attracted people are to her. There's a strange sex scene between her and Khal Drogo. There are strange descriptions, right? It ends up being consensual, but that still is not normal. It is gross. It is not positive. It is emblematic of how fucked up this medieval setting is. That was the narrative I was giving myself at the start of Snow Crash. I was like, this is the narrative. Like, it's supposed to be a fucked up dystopian fucking future. But then when you get to the sex scene, it cuts. Before anything happens, it cuts away. Because describing the sex scene as if it's a super hot, attractive moment is not cool. Snow Crash doesn't cut away. It describes it. All of it. The same way I've seen sex described in Dresden Files or whatever, you know? It's supposed to feel normal. Like, let me give an example of like where in Game of Thrones, the first book, it is presented as weird, right? They were on the far side of the Dothraki Sea when Ji Kui brushed the soft swell of Dany's stomach with her fingers and said, "Khaleesi, you are with child." "I know," Dany told her. It was her 14th name day. That is the last sentence of the chapter. That is highlighting that it is fucking weird, right? It's the last sentence being like, oh, by the way, she's 14. This is fucked up. Every time she is met by men who find her attractive and like keep going on about it, it's clear that these are not like good dudes, you know? Sir Barristan, who is like the most lawful good character in the whole series, isn't like, ooh, fucking Daenerys is so beautiful. He's just, he's a good dude, and he's like, it's like a father-daughter dynamic, and that's why Daenerys trusts him so much. So, I couldn't finish it. I wanted to, and I liked it. There were things I really liked about it. The prose is interesting. The vernacular is like super cool and unique. The plot it tells is deep and intelligent, but it's just too much for me. It is strange. YT's age is a deliberate choice, and it's highlighted multiple times, okay? I don't know anything about Neil Stephenson, but someone on the subreddit put my general thoughts together pretty well. In the 90s, sci-fi was predominantly written by, like, neckbeards, right? The same kind of dudes who today would watch certain kinds of anime and say the plot is excellent, right? The plot relies on the little girls looking a certain way. You get me? Don't worry, guys. YT is actually a 10 billion-year-old meta-demon. It's cool. Don't worry about it. She's not 15. She's 1500. It's completely normal.